Good morning, everyone. I think we're live. I think things are starting to kick into place. I'll just get my laptop set up so I can keep an eye on the comments. It's a lot easier than trying to look at it on the phone where you can't see so many. But yes, good morning, everyone. We'll just wait for everyone to join in because there'll be some people who will have adverts at this point who will be catching up. But yes, I hope you are all well wherever you are in the world. Time this one to try and hit the Antipodes again. So hello Australia and New Zealand if you're tuning in, and apologies to America if you're watching this later because I set it off in the middle of the night. Very hard to please absolutely everyone all of the time because everyone has. Oh, we have got Australia. Hello, the power bloke. Some people. Oh, and New South Wales. Hello, Sean. Gosh. No, hold on. No, yes, I've timed it for Australia. It's not scary times. My brain is not up to speed yet. Look, it was my birthday yesterday. I'm allowed a bit of leeway, surely. Oh, Tom Carr wants a V8 Ute. Yes, can't think why. Did you all enjoy the HSV Maloo? That was a very, very entertaining vehicle. Hoodies out of stock. I'm afraid young man's 38, that is the case. Yeah, we're out of stock on most of the hoodies, I think, at the moment. No plans to refresh those stocks immediately. We've got other items we need to refresh. We can't refresh everything all at once. Oh, the happy birthdays are coming in. Thank you, folks. It was a lovely, lovely birthday. Hello, Borneo. Wow, that's good times. From Preston Pans, Ireland. Oh, yeah, Kent. Yeah, we got some good coverage going on this morning. Nova Scotia. Oh, what time is it in Nova Scotia, Maple Marmite? Yeah, Plymouth, Adelaide, Glasgow. I understand it's been sunny in Glasgow. Some of my Glaswegian friends appear to have got quite sunburnt. So I suppose that's good. South Wales, Southwest, Wolverhampton. Yeah, South Africa, excellent. Lothians, Winchester. Excellent. Brisbane, Newcastle. Excellent. But yes, I hope you're all well. I'll do some boring shop updating before we get underway. As I've already discussed, hoodies were a bit out of stock on, but summer's coming. It's the time for t-shirts. The Power Less is More t-shirts, despite my experiences on an HSV Maloo, these are back in stock. The HubNut, even though I don't look like that, petrol head hippie shirts are back in stock. Oh, thank you, Big Jono. Oh, well, extra bacon rolls for everyone. Beautiful, thank you. Do you have a headache with all that tea drinking? No, that is the benefit of tea. I'm just not awake yet. I'm trying to get my head into order. Shetland Islands calling as well. Excellent. Got some decent coverage going on. So yeah, I mean, it's been quite an interesting week, videos wise. I've done my little Holden tribute, free sort of Holden based videos. I hope you enjoyed those. Definitely a reminder of some of the fun I was having over in Australia. Wow, yes, the Ute experience definitely came to a head with that HSV Maloo. Oh, hello Netherlands, Lancashire, Bradford. Oh, all good times. Bradford being where Ellie's body shell was refurbished a few years ago at Sitwins. Alan's just sold a GSA powered Diane, which I was very tempted by. Oh, and Leeds as well, excellent. And Germany, hello Germany. Oh, I would love to go to Europe, and there's a lot of Germany I would still like to see. Italy, I would like to see more of as well. So many travelling plans I would definitely like to do. So yeah, we'll see how things go. Sunny but very windy. Yes, it's in Edinburgh. It's the same here on the west coast of Wales. We had some real gusts overnight and rain as well. Oh, thank you, Robert. Oh, a little birthday present there, donation. Thank you very much, Robert. For those who don't want to do a super chat, that's how people are donating at the moment. If you look below the chat box, there is a little dollar sign. You can go to hubnut.org and we've got a donate option on the shop as well. So that's also an option. Oh, thank you, Peter. And that's good times. Reading checking in, excellent. Not much fun in Stalingrad. Oh, windy in London too. Yes, everyone's got wind. You heard it here first. How old am I? Oh, it's a rather personal question, but the clue is that I am now the answer to the life, the universe, and everything. Have you got your 2CV running? Well, it's funny you should ask that, because I did have some tinkering with Ellie today, and not today, this week, and that will be appearing in tomorrow's video. So I don't want to talk too much about that. Some people on social media may have seen the day didn't go quite as I'd hoped, but that's all going to be in tomorrow's video, which I still need to edit up. I haven't actually edited the footage yet, because it was my birthday and I actually had a day off. I caught myself looking at the comments first thing in the morning, and then I managed to stay off the channel and not do any work. So I've got some comments to catch up on today. There's always so many of them, but at this time where I can't really go anywhere and do anything, I like to try and keep up with the comments. Alexander Toft would love a Peugeot 306D Turbo. Would I recommend them? Certainly, yeah, definitely would. Electrical gremlins are the issue. That's why I got rid of mine. You'd lock the central locking, and then it would unlock itself. Oh, thanks, Peter, for that second attempt. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you very much. But yeah, the Peugeot 306D Turbo, lovely handling, a bit front heavy. But yeah, they drive absolutely beautifully. I eventually kind of got fed up with that narrow power band. Turbo doesn't really kick in till 2000 revs. It's all over by about 4000, so it's hard work to try and keep it on boost. To be honest, the petrol 306s are quite jolly, so one of those wouldn't be a bad shout. I'd love to drive an XSI. Oi, stop with the spoilers on what's going on with my 2CV. What do you think of Scania 143M V8s? They sound nice. I don't have the license to drive one. I missed out on a trend in Australia. Commodore owners competing who can live the biggest burnout in the Bunnings hardware collection drive-through. Yeah, that does sound like an Australia only thing. And with that HSV Maloo, I could have definitely won that competition, I think. Just watch your Porsche 911 review. Was that one of your favourites? Not even close, I'm afraid. I kind of like Porsche 911s, but they're very flawed cars, really. But then I quite like the fact they're very different as well. And that big air-cooled engine hanging out behind the rear axle. How is George doing? Well, as far as I know. I've heard nothing to the contrary. He still loves hiding in boxes. Can you buy another Citroen XM? I don't really want to buy another XM. I think I've ticked that box. So I've currently got the GSA. I think one hydraulic Citroen at a time is very much the way to go, and I've always wanted a GSA. What do you think of the Volvo 480? Greets from windy Netherlands. Well, Nuno, if you go and search on my channel, you will find a road test of a Volvo 480 in the Netherlands, and that will tell you my views on the Volvo 480. Can I do a Geordie accent? Not without being lynched by the entire northeast of England. Oh, fans of the P76, that's good. Renault 25 post facelift. Bit more of a pre facelift myself, but I suppose the larger rear lights are quite nice on the post facelift. How old is George? Well, funnily enough, it's almost exactly 5 years since we collected George. So, and we think he was 2 at the time, so he's somewhere around 7 or 8. Fort Granada Gear, a car I would like to do a test on. Can you buy another Rover 45 automatic? Again, I don't really want to repeat myself. I want to get different cars, so I'm not likely to get another 45. Andrew Higgins, just seen the Maloo, quickest vehicle you've ever driven, question mark. Probably not. I can't actually remember what the official 0 to 60 time is, but I've driven a Tesla Model S P85. That was 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. I've also driven a Gardner Douglas Lola T70 replica, and that had 440 horsepower and not much weight, so I guess that's probably still the winner. Although I drove it in December, it had no roof. That was for a feature in Classic Car Weekly, terrifyingly long amount of time ago, and yeah, that was amazing. Wuppertal flying buses. Okay, yep, sounds good to me. Is that the underslung monorail? That is something, funny enough, I was discussing with my girlfriend only last night in bed, because that's the sort of interesting chap I am. Talking of really boring stuff, I was going to talk about birthday presents, so I'll try and catch up with questions in a minute. Bear with me, folks. But one of the best presents I had was this book of boring car trivia by Sniff Petrol. That's Richard Porter, is the other half of Smith and Sniff. It's got a foreword by James May. It is full of really, really boring facts. like the fact that the Subaru Brat was never sold officially in Japan, as overseas only. There is a fact by me in there as well, and I've got no link to Richard Porter. I've never met the man, but it is a very, very good book. It's not the thickest of books, but oh, it's very good. Very, very boring. I like that very much. And yeah, it was a good sort of a day. I'm just going to go through my birthday cards briefly as well, some of them as well. This one's got embarrassing photos of me when I was much younger, but if you look at this one, if it'll focus, that's me behind the wheel of a Ford Cortina I'm probably 2 or 3, and I just looked the happiest ever. I was somewhat distressed that my feet didn't reach the pedals, but still I got the seatbelt on. I could just about reach the steering wheel. That was amazing, amazing stuff. I did get a mention in the book, Paul Baker. Yes, I'm in the acknowledgement section. Um, Lollipop71, can you give my daughter Holly Marie a hello? Hello, Holly Marie. And I hope that has made her day. Yes, I believe the book is available on Amazon. I think you can get it as a Kindle version as well, so you don't actually have to have a physical book. But yeah, you need it. Let's try and catch up with these questions. Do you think the Rover Streetwise is rather pointless, says Simone? No, I think the Rover Streetwise was ahead of its time, really. It was a bit of a Talbot Matra Rancho. It was, let's make something look like an SUV that isn't. And I quite like the Rover Streetwise. Do you enjoy driving music when you're not filming? Not so much. I did manage to get up a Bluetooth setup working in Betty the Ford Fairmont when I was going around New Zealand, because some of the distances, even in New Zealand, I mean, compared to Australia, it's nothing, but I mostly flew in Australia. But in New Zealand, I was covering vast distances and I did set up some music. But my tastes are pretty wide ranging, to be honest. I yeah, do all sorts. Uh, it's not working. What's not working? Uh, During your AU ownership, did you become aware of the AU memes? Yes, the AU Falcon is doing incredible things. I visited that page this morning, in fact. It's quite amusing. Have you tried a black cab and will you be writing a book? I have tried a black cab pre-video days. Need to do another one. Reckon I can probably get my hands on one. I have thought about doing a book, but I don't think I'm really kitted out for writing books. But we'll see. Maybe I'll manage it. Macho Rancher probably 10 years before Rover Streetwise, more like 20, I think. Both ahead of their time in a way. I quite like the Streetwise, I must admit. I just love the big plasticky bumpers. Do you know if there are any Inva cars available? I don't know of any for sale in the UK at the moment, unfortunately. Giselle, the GSA is very well. Did you eat the Ford logo off the cake? Oh yeah, my girlfriend made this amazing birthday cake. I probably should have found a way of being able to display photos of said cake, but they're on my phone and I'm talking to you on it, so I can't do that. Yeah, the cake was amazing. The detail on it, my girlfriend actually replicated the stitching from the seats on my GSA. She made badges of various cars. The pictures are on social media, so you can go find me on Facebook or Twitter, and the photos are there. And it was very tasty chocolate cake. And she made profiteroles as well, which is one reason I woke up in the middle of the night feeling quite ill. But there you go. That's what birthdays are all about, overindulgence. Are the Betty mugs being restocked? Have we sold out of Betty mugs? Wow, that was quick. Yes, we have. Sorry, I'm not so close to the shop anymore, so it's more difficult for me to remember what's going on. But yeah, I think we have sold out of the Betty mugs. I don't think we're planning on restocking. We may do. We have discussions about this stuff all the time, but we've got other mugs we need to restock more urgently that have been out of stock for a while. So this stuff will come and go. So sorry about that. Power Bloke, have you seen Motoring Box and his AU? Yes, I have. Motoring Box is Sean over in Queensland, Australia. And while I had mine, he came to my attention because he was doing videos on his AU Falcon. Although, amusingly, his was also a Fairmont. And he's just recently done a really good head-to-head Fairmont versus the Holden Calais, the slightly posher Commodore. And very good it is too. And I'm hoping he has now managed to sell his Commodore, sorry, his Calais. He was having great trouble trying to sell it on eBay because time wasters, but hopefully that will go now. Oh, thank you, Revolution11. Very kind of you. Have you ever driven a Daihatsu Copa? No, no, I haven't. That's one I need to do. Do you ever watch Ed Westby's channel? Sometimes Twin Cam, yeah. Twin Cam came to the first HubNut social. Very nice chap. CX Tissier. Oh, that would be amazing. The CX Tissier. Some of them have crept into videos of mine, usually Citroen. Thank you, Psycho. Um, for but they're stretched Citroen with huge platforms on the back. They're amazing things. Best way to buy a car online. Yeah, it's a tricky one. I'm not really a fan of paying money up front. Even with the GSA, I bought the GSA while I was in Australia, but still, I came and completed the sale when I picked the car up, so I hadn't handed any money over beforehand. Miss Hubnut is a good egg. She is, yes. Miss Hubnut is, yeah. She made me a very happy birthday, so that's good. All cakes and cards and good times. And I got a cajon. That was a big present I got. It's a wooden box that you smack with your hands and it sounds like a drum, which means I can stop using the ukulele for that purpose. The motoring box, not just a Fairmont, it's a Fairmont gear. Yes, Betty was a fraud. Betty had gear alloys, but she was not a gear. So he's got the independent rear end and the VCT, variable. Is that valve timing or just intake? I think no, they both got variable intake, so it must be valve timing. Yeah, his was posher. Did you drive a first generation Honda Insight? Yes, Klederman. Again, go and search through my massive back catalogue and you will find a Honda Insight. Fascinating little cars. Have you ever driven a Daihatsu Domino? No, but the Nipper is not very far from a Domino. I do have a friend who's got a Domino, and he's doing the same engine swap as that Mira I drove in Tasmania. I think he's putting a later four-cylinder engine in, which sounds like a retrograde step, but having driven that Mira and discovered just how frenetic and just hilarious it is, I think that's yeah, going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to catch up with my friend Eddie some point this year, but we're just going to have to see how things go. Never driven a Dodge or Commerce Space van. I know Steph at iDriver Classic has. I'm still very envious of that fact. And it's the same with a Talbot Macho Rancho. That's a car I very much want to tick off and do a video on at some point. Have you had any issues with Patreon? I haven't had any issues my end. I've not heard of anyone else having problems with Patreon. Let me know if you are having trouble. I see Ollie got a tambourine for his birthday. Oh, well, let's set up a percussion department. And happy birthday to you, Ollie. Oh, I see Ollie. That doesn't mean you're definitely called Ollie, does it? Renault 4, again, one I need to do a video on. I'm desperate to do a head-to-head with the 2CV. Restoration plan for the Tercel does not exist. Just focusing on keeping going what I've got going at the moment. The good news is the garage where the City Rover is, they're back in next week. They're hoping to do a proper assessment on the car on Wednesday. So hopefully I'll have a bit more on that. I would love to go and do some video of them doing the work. I'm not going to do it because I think struts are going to have to come apart, and frankly, I'm not even going there. Coil springs terrify me, pinging off all over the place. But we'll see. It's gonna cost a lot of money, but I don't care. I want that car to be saved, and so does my girlfriend. Importantly, are you going to test drive Pete C's Bramble? I would love to. Having seen that car when it was a bare body shell, mostly full of holes, I would love to. Some people have been asking for an interview with Pete C, but he's one of those people. What he's got and what he's working on is so interesting. I would rather go and do another head-to-head if he's up for that. So we'll see. Latest Doug DeMuro vid is a little bit HubNut. Oh, okay, might have to check that out. I do not watch every Doug DeMuro vid because most of them are about cars I'm not interested in. I think the last one I watched, he'd bought a Land Rover 90 V8. One of the ones that was developed specifically for the American market. So that was quite interesting. Questions have all just skipped again. Oh, thank you, Andrew Higgins. That's very kind of you. Where is most of my research done? Well, it's a mixture of stuff I already know because I used to read reference books as a child. It's reference books I've read more recently. Obviously, the internet comes in. You have to be a bit careful with the internet. I will usually try and find several sources. But yeah, research is a huge part of the job, and it's why sometimes folk, I'll meet them at a show or something. They say, "Oh, here's my keys. You're welcome to do a video on my car." But if I haven't done any research, that's very difficult because yeah, the more stuff goes into my head, the more stuff flies out of it. So very tricky. Plans for Ellie. There will be updates on Ellie tomorrow. Uh, Someone has been to Horopito Motors, an amazing place. That was such an achievement. I think some of the biggest achievements on that trip. I mean, doing it was quite a big achievement for me, but also Horopito Motors, Leyland P76, Austin Kimberley. Definitely standout moments on that trip where I was having to pinch myself and go, "Am I really here? Am I, this famous place, these famous cars?" Uh, MG Betts hopes the City Rover adventure continues. Yeah, it never pretends to be a great car. Well, it kind of did when they were new, the way they priced them. Um, I will do a video on what's bad about the City Rover, I think, once I get it back on the road. Did you have the Lady Book of Cars? No, well, I've got the Lady Book. Here we go, the midlife crisis. Oh, just thinking, I've owned a fair few of those cars, I think. No, I've owned one of those cars. I've owned a P6. That's the only one I've owned, and that's a Series 2. I've not had a Series 2 P6. Is there a problem still with her starting? With Ellie? No, she's been fine. Um, so that will be tomorrow. Are you doing the 2CV World meeting in Switzerland next year? I certainly hope to, because that should be a really good event. And Switzerland's an amazing place, so wonderful for scenery. What happened to your New Zealand BX? That I believe it's been sold to Citroen fan in Auckland. Yeah, if that's you, do let me know. I'd love to stay in touch with that car. Yeah, having a Citroen to drive around in was pretty awesome. I was amazed. Alan Coombs, when you met up with Peter Anderson, did you see drive all these cars? No, I don't think he's got the Wolseley 2480. I think he sold that and then the engine failed. So it's a bit of a sore point in that car. But I did drive a Wolseley 2480 when I was in Tasmania. So that will be coming in a video. Maybe I'll try and get that one out soon because it's about time that one came out. It's another Aussie oddity with its B series 6-cylinder engine, unique to Australia. Do you still buy any classic car magazines? No, and I've been bemoaning the fact that obviously recently we've had news that various magazines have been killed off, hopefully just temporarily, but we don't know. Things like Retro Cars magazine has gone. I think Banzai has gone as well. But also other publishers are also struggling. So there was a story in The Guardian that Modern Classics magazine may be up for review. And this is scary times. Modern Classics magazine has really filled a huge gap in the market, and to know that it could be in trouble, my friends who work on the title could obviously therefore be in trouble. It's frightening stuff. Slightly crackling mic. Oh, I have a horrible feeling it's this phone. The microphone's plugged in. I rebooted it before the brief, but it might be. But I've got another phone on the way thanks to a HubNutter, so we'll see. I've killed my Samsung Galaxy. The screen has finally cooled enough, so I'm back speaking to you on my Oppo F1S Chinese smartphone. Can you ever see yourself buying another new car? If you mean brand new, no, I really can't see me ever buying a brand new car unless I have no choice. Triumph World has finished as well. Oh, that is a shame. I've contributed to that a few times over the years. I've still got a huge front cover somewhere that I was on, I think. My tea's gone cold. Presented for your enjoyment in a Foxan mug. Yeah, my tea's gone cold. So bear with me. I'm just going to look at these questions and try and pick a few out. How is the Invacar? The Invacar's as well as it was. She's peeing oil everywhere and one of her doors fell apart. Why not buy an MGZT? I probably wouldn't like it, to be honest. I've had a Rover 75. It's just too big a lump of car. It's just not my cup of tea. I like crazy little cars. Are there still more Australian videos to come? Oh yes, many. I reckon we've probably still got a good 20 videos left from Australia. So hopefully lockdown will ease and I'll start making more new videos, and the timing will be perfect. I've been so lucky. Uh, you have access to loads of UK car magazines online. Um, Two of the best, Classic and Sports Car, not quite as good as it used to be, but still up there. The Automobile, I don't know if that's available through any reader websites, but the Automobile is a very good magazine, very detailed. Doesn't care too much about chasing sales, so the cars they feature generally you've never heard of. Brilliant magazine. Mm, look at that, Scottish car enthusiasts tops up my tea fund. Thank you very much, sir. Very good of you. Oh, am I still here? That suddenly lost its connection. Sorry, folks. Yeah, I lost my connection my end, but I think I'm back with you. Could let me know in the comments. I'm good. Oh, phew. Yeah, it's getting to stage we may have to replace the router. We've got so many bits of kit in this house, but I think we're just killing the router personally. So that's good. Corelli rear wheel drive. Thoughts? I've driven one. Um, I think it was a Rally 2, and I also drove one that had been supercharged. And fascinating cars. Rear engine, little Simca thousands, and the sportier, oh pardon me, sportier versions thereof. Huge fun. Are you thinking of reviewing the Sierra? Definitely need to. I much prefer the tinkering videos. Yeah. As you'll see in tomorrow's video where I'm tinkering with Ellie again, I've really missed it as well. Have you driven a Rover P4? Yes, not on camera sadly, but lovely cars. There's one for sale near here for £500, but it's absolutely ruined. So yeah, bad times. Best driving road in Australia or New Zealand? Oh, there were so many. Um, I mean, that road I didn't even drive. The road we drove up in Tasmania, where we kind of went up this twisty mountain road, that was amazing. And lots of New Zealand was amazing. The Forgotten World Highway was a particular highlight because it was very quiet, and I had a good hurtle in Betty the Ford Fairmont. Your thoughts on the seventh gen Honda Civic? I can't even picture what one of those is. My interest in Civics kind of dies after the fourth generation. Seventh is just going to be too modern. Early BMW Minis. Now they're interesting ones because people often say, what are the future modern classics? There's already a following for the early Minis, and I think that's because every time BMW have facelifted the Mini, they've made it a million times uglier. Despite that, I've got a BMW Mini Countryman test coming your way. That's going to be an interesting one for comments. Oh, uh, Trump Dolomite again, need to do. I wouldn't go for a Sprint because that's not my bag. I'd probably just go for an 1850 HL. That'll do me. 8 valves is enough. Is a Morgan a HubNut car? I don't think so, really. I'd still be interested in doing a video on one, especially a plus 8. I've driven a plus 8. Some very interesting things about Morgans. On the first plus 8s, they had to bash in the top of the air filter to get it under the bonnet. And on the fuel injected versions, they had to shave the bonnet hinge to make sure it cleared the plenum. Did you watch the Paul Hogan show? No. Restoring a Chrysler 300M Special. Wow. That it seems mad to restore what seems like a modern car, but yeah, there we go. That's very HubNut. Hyundai Pony, I'd like to do a video on. I've done Stellas. In fact, my mate with the Stella I've already done 2 videos on, since tweaked it up a bit and fitted air conditioning. So I need another go in it. I'll get in touch, Matt. I'll be on my way. Another top up to the T Fund. Thank you, Ali Mach. Morris Ital, yeah, I'd like to do a Morris Ital. I'd love to do an Allegro 3 as well. I love those. What do you think of Car Pervert's Allegro Sleeper? Very interesting uh, project. That I have some doubts about how it's going to go and whether we'll be able to get it on the road in that form because the rules have changed since he started doing that project. But we'll see how it pans out. It's going to be very interesting to watch, and good times. Right. How is Miss Giselle, the GSA? She's okay. A few niggles, which is why I was trying to get Ellie back on the road, because I'm just worried the GSA is going to pack up at some point. I don't think that's fair. It's just a few little niggles. The road you took the ratty EF Falcon up looked good. Yeah, that was a good road. That had very low grip. I don't think it was because of the tyres on that car, but it was very, very skiddy. I mean, it was understeering a lot. Have you driven the Lancia Gamma? No, but I know at least one person with one. Have you ever tested a smart car? Not on camera. Actually drove several of them when new. I hear Diego, the little dog, is having a good shout. That means my package of 2CV parts has arrived. So, woof, woof, woof. Innocenti IM4 or Regent. I would love to go to Italy, and I would love to drive many Innocentis. Not least the Innocenti Primula. Is it Primula? No, that's an Auto Bianchi, sorry. Or Bianchi, however you meant to pronounce it. Why don't you sound like Goldie looking chain? Probably because I'm from the Midlands of England. So I don't sound Welsh. Do you think you will sell the GSA? I hope not. The problem with the GSA is I kind of bought it with next year's tax money. So if I can keep it, I will, but I may not be able to. Roger a Kalisa, I'd rather have a Canary, just personal preference. Daewoo Espero, yeah, I've got an Espero kind of lined up. There's one in South Wales I would love to drive, but I've got such a backlog of stuff to get through. Volkswagen Type 4 variant 412, that's one I'd love to drive, but they are so rare. Interesting, sounds like a train horn going off outside, which is all the more interesting because there are no trains around here. Madness. What about driving trips to Japan? Yeah, I would love to. And maybe I should speak to Wasabi Cars. Go and check out Wasabi Cars channel if you haven't already. He's always spotting amazing things over in Japan. He's from Australia himself. So at some point, maybe I could arrange a trip to Japan. There are so many places I want to go. So we're talking years and years of stuff. I don't want to give away what I've bought for Ellie because it rather ruins tomorrow's video. You'll find out in that. Tom Carr asks whether I've watched anything of Ian Tyrrell at Tyrrell's Garage. I certainly have. I mean, it's top-endy stuff, but he presents it very well, and it's very interesting. It's not just look how amazing this car is. It's like this is how the Lamborghini Miura gearbox and everything works, and it's all one casting. It's fascinating stuff I didn't know. Can I go in Klederman's turquoise Twingo? That'd be lovely. Oh wow, thank you, Denby. That's very generous of you. Ever driven a Chrysler 180 or 2 litre? No, but I think I've probably got someone lined up for that. You're looking to import a diesel? Oh, that sounds deliciously dreadful, and I would very much like to encounter it if that's possible. Need to come across the water to drive to County Antrim Coastal Road. That's Northern Ireland, I think, is it? Never been to Northern Ireland, so yeah, definitely want to tick off. Have you seen the Tercel that's on eBay? Yes, I saw that this morning. Will you ever grow your hair again? Unlikely. Is the GSA nicer to drive than the BX? Now, I've been pondering this one a lot myself because obviously I've driven the two back to back fairly recently. I preferred the driving position and the switch layout on the GSA. But I think what's annoying me with the GSA is I keep on forgetting it isn't power steering. They never fitted it to the GSA. And yeah, it catches me out quite. It is quite heavy steering in the GSA. Is the Chrysler 180 what we call the Centura? Yes, it is. And what kind of frustrated me is I didn't really make enough effort to find a Chrysler Centura. It's got a 6-cylinder engine in, obviously for Australia. But in the comments about the Leyland P76 and the Austin Marina, everyone was going on about Chrysler Centauras, and I just found this a bit odd because they didn't sell that many of them. If I go back to Australia, I will find one. That needs to happen. 2005 Corsa SXI. Is that the one with the 1.8 litre engine? Someone let me have a ride round in one fairly recently. I thought this goes well. Uh, Hyundai XG30. Yeah, I think they're going to develop it. No, they're not going to develop a following at all. But yeah, I'm interested in them. Twitter fecal barn fights, probably not. I'm in a UK barn find group on Facebook, I think. Peugeot Escort expert van with automatic. Never driven one. I've only driven manuals. Horrible clunky gear change. I'm not a fan of the Peugeot experts. Oh, hold on. The expert's a smaller one, isn't it? You got partner, expert, or jumpy. It's the Citroen version in Europe, and then you got the Boxer at the top. It's the Boxers I don't like very much. Although I think the experts let down mainly by a huge triangle of doom. Valiant Charger, yeah, there's a lot of Chryslers I didn't drive. How about fitting Corsa electric power steering? I'm just a bit wary of that. I've driven cars with the electric power steering, and the problem is you lose feel. That's what power steering does. Peugeot 205 TU or suitcase. It'll have to be TU engine. I mean, it's a genuine improvement, the TU engine. Nice little motor. Suitcase engine, pain in the backside, especially if you need to take the cylinder head off. Because you can't really, because the engine lies back, so that the cylinder head is against the bulkhead. Problematic. Solara or Tagora? I've done a Tagora video. I've done a Solara video. Same chap, different years, in the Netherlands. So you can go and check those out. Worst generation of Escort. Now there's a question. I can't say Mark 6 because it turns out my girlfriend likes the Mark 6 Escort. I suppose that leaves Mark 5 really. But funnily enough, my dad had a couple of Mark 5 hire cars, one of which was a jade green metallic 1.4 LX, and I thought it was quite nice as a passenger when I was sort of mid-teens. But yeah, there you go. Datsun 180 original cherry, very popular in Finland. Oh, nice little cars. I have driven one. First car you tinkered with would be my first car, really. It was Ford Fiesta Mark II, and learned about ignition timing on that. Hopefully improve things. I haven't got a clue what I was doing. But it didn't die from that. It died from me crashing it. Ooh, a couple of Maestro diesels on eBay with their lovely Perkins engines. Yeah, very tempting. Shame Maestros rust so much, that's the biggest problem. Mark II was the most boring Escort. Certainly compared to the Mark I, they did engineer all the style out of it, didn't they, really? But that's the 1970s for you. How are you coping mentally with this situation? To be honest, I'm not coping too badly. I still have moments where you just like, I just want to get out. I want a change of scenery. But yeah, I can't really complain too much. I'm having a lovely time. I'm with lovely people, my new family that I'm with. We've got the beach on our doorstep. And the other day we went to the post office, and that involved watching dolphins and out in the bay and a feeding frenzy. And oh, just it's amazing here. Once lockdown's over, come to Wales. It's a fantastic place, even when you've been to New Zealand. Have you driven a 4x4 2CV conversion? No, I don't think I have. I've been a passenger in one, but I don't think I've actually driven one of the 4x4s. Suitcase engine is a petrol engine fitted to the earliest 205s, Citroen Visa, and I think also the 104 Talbot Samba of that ilk as well. Saw you in a certain ukulele orchestra live stream. Oh, that'd be me. Any thoughts on streaming your own uke jams? I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not very good on the ukulele. As I discovered when there's a ukulele orchestra of Great Britain do play-alongs, where they play tunes and talk you through the chords and you try and play along. Oh, I'm rubbish. Where did you pick up all your mechanic skills? Trial and error, and my sadly departed friend Bob taught me a lot as well. At one stage, Me and my friend Malcolm would go to Bob's garage every Saturday morning. It was a bit of a club thing. We'd make him cups of tea and watch what he was doing. He taught me so much about working on 2CVs. But you're always learning. It's not like you're suddenly a mechanic. I'm learning all the time. Fixing up a Renault 5 GT Turbo. Ooh, I think that counts as HubNut, seeing as it's turbocharger blowing through carburetor. Holden Kingswood, never managed to get one of those to drive, unfortunately. What do you think of the Fiat Panda 4x4? Mark 1, I would love one. Mark 2 even is quite funky, the later version of the Panda, although are they Mark 3s really? I suppose there were two marks of original Panda. Yeah, I was looking at a more modern Panda recently and thinking, you know what, I might need one of those. I think it'd be especially interesting to compare it with the City Rover, because they were rivals back in the day. Rover 420 diesel. Oh, that'd be a nice car on eBay. 21,000 miles. Wow. Hopefully the gearbox hasn't exploded on that one then. Learning welding. I'm not even going there. I'm not thinking about that at the moment. Yeah, Fiat Panda 4x4 still popular in remote areas of Italy. Yep, yeah, and even bits of France as well. You're up in the hills. Ooh, favorite panel version based on a normal car. I'm going to say the Citroen BX vans, which I think were only built for Ireland. They're quite fascinating. Um, Tax advantages in Ireland to being a van. L series runs forever. Well, yes, the L series engine, that Rover 2-litre diesel engine, which is an evolution of the Perkins unit in the Maestro and Montego, they do go forever, but they blow the gearboxes to bits. Because Rover, in their infinite wisdom, decided to make the differential cage out of plastic, and the plastic degrades in time as it hardens in all that oil, and then one day you accelerate hard and you blow it apart. And yeah, it's the most annoying thing about Rover. Why on earth would you think plastic has a place in a gearbox like that? And it just destroys the reliability. Oh, someone always wanted a Mark II convertible. Funny enough, a friend of mine, there was a Cavalier two-door Mark II on eBay recently. It was bought by a friend of mine, and I find that very exciting. Peugeot 504 would love to do. I was hoping to do in Australia, but it was up in Queensland, and I didn't go up there in the end. Renault Estafette or Peugeot J9. I've only driven the Peugeot. That is actually a test. I think it might have been a J7 actually. You can go and find that in my back catalogue. That exists. Bond Bug is one I'm hoping to set up soon. Vandenpla Princess 1300. Would love to do. They're super luxurious little cars. Very, very nice. Mark 1 Zara Picasso. There's something I almost bought, but it was actually too bad even for me, so I bought the City Rover instead. That's not a compliment, is it? Have you reviewed any ADO 16? No, I don't think I have yet. Oh, the Morris Nomad, technically an ADO 16, so there is that one, but I need to do some UK ones. Opinions on the Ford Puma, wonderful cars. I don't like the headlamps. I've never liked the headlamps on the Ford Puma. But they look very good around the back, and they drive fantastically. It's impossible to drive a Puma slowly, I discovered. Yeah, Renault 9 or 11, there are a few about. I've got a friend with an 11. It has briefly appeared in one of my videos. Freelander Mark 1, never owned one, but my neighbour had one when I was living up in Devil's Bridge, and she had it a long time. Had a few head gaskets because it's a 1.8 petrol, but she really likes it. You drove a 1958 2CV with a Visa engine. Wow, that must have been exciting. Fiat Twin Air is an engine I'm yet to encounter. I would love to. Audi Quattro Spark Avant Sport TDI B6 1.9. Oh my gosh, I'm falling asleep just reading that name. Have you driven a Nissan Sunny N14 Coupe? No, but again, probably one I'd like to. Bathurst Motor Museum. Yeah, I went to Bathurst and didn't go to the Motor Museum. More fool me. But we didn't really have time. Lightburn Zeta. No, I'm in touch with a Lightburn Zeta owner in Australia, but he was nowhere near where I was. And Australia is quite big, I discovered. Yeah, that Zara Picasso wasn't just a paperwork. It wasn't a really good example. It was absolutely driven into the ground um, by a clueless parent. And yeah, I think that car would have been bad news all round, really. It's a good one to walk away from in the end. Renault 19 or Megane, I'd always go 19 because the Megane has a terrible triangle of doom. Wasn't there a Vauxhall Cavalier convertible owners club? I think there was. When is the 2480 review coming? I don't know. And thoughts on Mark II Golf? I owned one, a driver, and it bored me to tears, and it didn't seem to do anything well. So it wasn't my cup of tea. I mean, different people like different things, but the Mark II Golf just does nothing for me. I think the styling is quite nice, but I would have a BX every day of the week. Santia Activa V6, did they ever sell it in the UK? No, we only got the Activa with a 2-litre turbo engine, 4-cylinder, but the I have got a V6 one lined up. The only problem is it's in Sweden. But I do want to go to Sweden, so who knows? I might be able to do something there. I've also been inquiring about interesting things in Sweden, so I'm hoping something will come together there and I can tell you more about it one day. What car has the worst triangle of doom? The City Rover is terrible, actually. City Rover is pretty bad. Mark 1 Mondeo is also absolutely awful. For triangle of doom, Citroen Berlingo, really, really bad. They're probably the worst. Did you get around the track at Bathurst? No, because there was a Lotus event going on and they were taking over the track. And amusingly, Alex Goy of Carfection was involved in that. So he was at Bathurst driving Lotuses around while I was visiting the area. Didn't quite get to meet up with him, sadly. Nissan Leaf or Jaguar I-Pace? I mean, that's not even a comparison, is it really? That's like comparing a Nissan Almera with an XJ40. They're different leagues of car. I'd be entirely happy with a Nissan Leaf, whereas I suppose the Jaguar I-Pace I'll be expecting more. I'd probably get more upset. Camper vans, not really my bag, but maybe. Ever heard of the Dacia Salenza? Yes, saw many of them when we went over to Romania to buy the mighty Dacia. They're very interesting, sort of Renault-ish vibes, but with a Daihatsu Applause style. Looks like a saloon, but is actually a hatchback. Yeah, interesting cars. Driven an Enfield Electric? No, that's one for doing. Oh, that's what that buzz was. Battery, was it? You sending me an FSO Polonaise photo? Thank you. I heard the buzz come in. Steve Cropley. I met Steve Cropley and talked about that 2CV because a friend of mine owns it, and I'm not sure what the status is with that car. It needed a lot of restoration. Mitsubishi PHEV is brilliant. Bold claim. I'm not entirely sure myself. But then I should make the point I'm not a hybrid fan. I think I would go full electric or fully petrol myself. I'm not really there with the hybrids. Ever heard of the Daewoo Chairman? Yes, I have a feeling we saw one of those in Romania as well. A sort of luxury car we didn't get in the UK. Did you try a hooked right turn while driving in Melbourne? No, because I'm not daft enough to try and drive in the middle of Melbourne. It looked horrible. Did you see the Top Gear episode where they destroyed Dacia Sandero? No. No interest in watching a program. It's just going to smash up cheap cars and go, ha ha ha, we're smashing up cheap cars. No. Thoughts on seasonal tyre changing? Beneficial? Yes. Although I'm increasingly a fan of all season tyres, which offer better driving experiences. Or you can do the other thing, which is to disappear to the other side of the world for the winter, and then you don't have to worry about winter tyres. It's cheaper to buy winter tyres. Whoa. There's lots of comments coming in. Oh, you're in Western Australia. Hello, Nico. Did you come from Adelaide? No, I didn't get anywhere near Adelaide. Very, very annoying. Did you ever get to the bottom of why Foxanne is using so much oil? No, she hasn't moved for a very long time. You're right, I'm not a fan of bang racing. Thank you, Shed TV. Another cup of tea. If you could have any car between 2015 and now, what would it be? I don't even know. I really don't know. I mean, my interest in cars, as in new cars, kind of ended in the early 2000s. And the more complicated they get, the less I want to own one. I suppose it'd have to be a Nissan Leaf, maybe. Do you like trying for claims? Yes, I need to do a video on one. Are you missing tea rooms? I am. Although we're drinking plenty of tea here, so it's fine. I'm all right. The Falling Embers, thank you very much. Most HubNut American car. Ooh. I don't know much about American cars. That makes it slightly difficult. And there are the various 1980s ones. I suppose the Cadillac Cimarron, which was based on the Vauxhall Cavalier platform, is probably going to be one of them. Maybe the Chrysler Horizon. Was that what it was badged as over there? I can't remember. Lada Niva, there's one I need to do a video on. MG Metro Turbo, that would be fun. Mark II Integra, any Honda Integra I'd like to do a video on. Yes, Furious Driving has just put up a Try and Reclaim video. I haven't seen it yet because I'm doing this. Just bought a HubNut sticker for Ford Focus. Well done. Would you ever have a Focus on your fleet? No, I wouldn't, because the Mark 1 has a terrible triangle of doom. Lovely cars as they are. And the Mark 2, I just don't like the Mark 2. I think Ford lost the plot slightly. Thank you, Barry Davis. Lada Nivas were great. What do you think of the Opel Manta 400? Beasts? Is that what was it Ari Vatanen was driving on the one of the roads? Was the Island Man, and the bit of an incident where he almost lost it coming up to a cattle grid. Motoring box. I've never had the urge to own any of the old European cars you usually go for. What's a cheap one you'd recommend that may change your mind? Oh, that's an interesting question. Because especially as you need something that's available in Australia, I guess. Yeah, go Citroen BX or a few BXs in Australia. There's a GSA or a GS, I think, for sale in Australia at the moment. Float your way around in one of those. I'm sure that'll change your mind, or make you hate Citroens for life. It goes one way. I'm not bidding on the Citroen Ami Silverstone auctions. It's a bad idea, and B, I don't have any money, so I bought a GSA. It's kind of GSA or Ami, and the GSA got the nod. Lada Niva, I would test any Lada Niva I could get my hands on. You like Lada? Well, I do like Ladas, I think. Oh, Simca Aronde. I believe there was a unique Simca Aronde estate or station wagon in Australia. Oh, thanks again, Barry. You're back again. Back again. Tea is great, so is cake. I have lovely cake downstairs. Go and see social media for the state of my cake. Can you go to a car auction? I would quite like to do that, actually. I've never bought a car at auction, other than online auction. But whether we'll actually be able to do regular auctions where everyone's crowded together in a room, that might not be on the cards for a while. What do you think of the Gordon Keeble? I would love a Gordon Keeble. That is one of those dream cars. Beautiful car, the Gordon Keeble. It's an Italian body. It's an American small block Chevy, and built in the UK. So yeah, definitely a car I would like to drive. Not done a Hillman Imp yet. It's one that's definitely on the list. I've never driven a Matra Simca Bagheera. Would love to. There's a Bagheera in the UK with a Hayabusa engine in it. Well, I suppose those Bagheeras didn't have a particularly sporty engine, weren't they? 1.4, the Bagheeras. Oh, thank you, Retro North, and welcome to Nigel Rudd, who has become a basic HubNutter. You can join the channel. Look for the join button beneath this video, or when you go to youtube.com/hubnut. Talbot semi-convertible. I know someone with one. He might even have several. Perhaps he's sold some of them. How are you finding lockdown? Frustrating, but I'm in good company. I'm having a nice time, so I can't complain too much. It's mostly frustrating because I can't do more with my own cars. That's frustrating. I did go and visit the unit this week. You will see that in a video tomorrow. But the unit is a 3-hour round trip away. It's really difficult to justify going over there at all, really. But also to, if I don't get a job finished, I've then got an hour and a half drive back, and then the next day I've got to drive an hour and a half. And I know that's a very, very UK thing to whinge about. I know Americans and Australians will be laughing at this, going, "That's not far," but it is. This is Wales, and twisty roads are hard work, and that's my excuse. But yeah, we'll see what's going on. DeLorean DMC-12. That is one I definitely want to do. Colin Furs seems to have got his hands on one on his channel. I don't know if it's his or not, but yeah, that'd be good to do. There is a Vauxhall Cavalier for sale in Birmingham, red, on eBay. Is that the 1.8? I can't remember. I did see one and I did think, oh, that sounds a tempting motor vehicle. What do you think of the Gordon Keeble? I've already told you what I like about the Gordon Keeble. Were you not listening? You must go to Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesia is definitely somewhere I'd like to go. So many places I'd like to go. Dacia Sandero is the 4th most reliable car in the UK. I've never driven a Dacia Sandero. I've never driven a modern Dacia of any kind. I would like to, but until then I can't really say anything, can I? I love cars at work. Oh, plastic pig trouble. Yeah, I like cars to be reliable. I don't like working on cars. It's nice to fix a car when it's had a problem and you go, ha, I'm underway again. But yeah, it's much nicer when they don't break down in the first place. What has been the most frustrating and hard work car to work on? Well, it's not really a car. I think the Citroen H-Van takes the biscuit. You can't get anything on those. Absolute pain. Need to find a DeLorean with a better engine. Yeah, it's arguable, but I kind of need to test one with the engine they came with, I think. How much did you spend on fuel on the New Zealand-Australia trip? I've never added up the bills, and I'm not sure I ever want to. Thank you, Vincent. That's very kind of you. Oh, greetings from down under. Hello. We've got many people tuning in from down under. That's good times. Kaplunk or Mousetrap, what is best? Well, we're not playing board games. We're playing card games in this house. And we're having a lot of fun playing card games. We've got the kids entirely addicted to a card game with a slightly rude name, but I can't really share with you here. But the second word is head. And yeah, we're very, very addicted to that. Mark 1, 2, and 3 transits. Love to do videos on all of them. I've always liked the Mark 3 transit. I remember when the Mark 3 transit came out, what, in 1986 was it? It was just so radical. There's the slope nose on it. I know, thinking back, you're like, well, the Renault Traffic already existed. That had a slopey nose, and the Renault Master. But somehow the transit changing from the classic bonneted shape to that slope front, it was amazing. A Furs collaboration. I think we can only dream of such things. He has 2 million subscribers. How is Jono at Peak 2CV? He's very well. I spoke to him this week. He's loving life. I will hope to have a catch up with him at some point. Ah, your Foxhound mug has arrived, Paul Lynch. Well, yes. Cheers. We can say there. Radiohead. I like Radiohead. Well, I don't think we were talking about music. I do wonder about setting up a second channel where I talk about more non-car stuff. Maybe I'll do that this year. We'll see. Furs seems a tad insane, just slightly. If you want to see insanity, go and look at Colin Furs' video on his spinning belt of knives, which almost killed him. Another collab with Joe from Miller Corner, possibly. We'll have to see. He doesn't live anywhere near me is the biggest problem. He's either in Peterborough or down south in England somewhere. Worst car Vauxhall has ever made. Well, the Viva HC was definitely not a strong point for me, and that was kind of the last Vauxhall, really, wasn't it? After that, there were just Opels. Second channel sounds like a good idea. Well, there you go. Maybe I'll do something. Oh, wow. Aaron Smart has mentioned Atlantic 252. Yeah, I used to listen to that. Atlantic 252 Longwave. Used to play lovely music. Very crackly, though, because it was on Longwave. And from what I remember driving along listening to Longwave, it'd often get cut out by bridges and wires. And wow. In tomorrow's video, when you go to the unit, can you start Myrtle? No, because I've already recorded the video. I won't be going to the unit tomorrow. It is in the can. I need to edit it. But we've reached 12 o'clock, so I'm afraid we're going to have to end the video. And yeah, we'll see you next week, I guess. But thank you all for joining in and taking part. It's been another splendid chat. It's amazing how quickly these go. The time just flashes by, and here we are an hour down the road. I need another cup of tea because my throat's getting quite dry. But yeah, it's been a good chat again. I won't keep these going once we're into open season and able to travel again, but these have been a lot of fun to do while we're in this lockdown situation. It's frustrating for a great many of us. Yeah, but I mean, I imagine I will be doing one next week. Timing may vary. I might go for the American side of things next time. With apologies to the Antipodes, I'm always going to upset someone. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So thank you very much. And yeah, I will say, obviously, you can go to the HubNut store to buy all the lovely merchandise if you wish. HubNut.org, and follow the links. You can support via donations and various other means there. Patreon is a thing if you do Patreon, patreon.com/HubNut. But otherwise, yeah, thank you very much. And I shall see you next week. Farewell. What's that? No idea.